StockPulse on location, StockPulse Silver Symposium Year 2. With me now, I've got Alf Stewart. He's the chairman of Searchlight Resources, SCLT, on the Toronto Venture Exchange. Alf, appreciate you taking the time, appreciate you making the trip down here. Interesting project here with some news out today. Would you dive right into it?
Thank you, Rob. Searchlight's a Saskatchewan exploration company. We're looking for critical metals in Saskatchewan. We believe that Saskatchewan's the best place in North America to look for critical metals. And why is that? Well, many critical metals, including the ones that we're focused on, are radioactive. Uranium and the rare earth mineral monazite are both radioactive. And Saskatchewan has great expertise in mining radioactive materials. It's the only place in Canada where high-grade uranium is being mined as we speak, and that's not far from our property. So the news today is we're launching a new phase of exploration on our Kulik Lake property. Two things came together at the same time and are covered in the same press release. And the two things are, we got the assay results from our previous exploration phase that we did in June, and we got those just before we were sending the crew back into the field. So we're very excited about what we saw. And Kulik Lake is a long, narrow lake in northern Saskatchewan, and the south side of the lake has been intensively explored, has some of the highest grade rare earths you'll ever find, over 50% total rare earths. But our airborne survey showed that that was basically a one-line anomaly, fairly restricted in aerial extent, even though the grades are very high. But our survey also showed that we have extensive zones of uranium and rare earths on the other side of the lake, and is not explored at all. Literally, we're finding new rare earth showings with grades up to 1% total rare earths from simply going up to the outcrop and knocking off a sample and sending it to the assay lab. 1% rare earths is up to $200 per ton in rock value, so that would be an attractive grade either in open pit or underground. So we have grade, we have promising targets. Our exploration target is 6 kilometers long for rare earths and up to 2 kilometers long for uranium. The assay results we got, we took 67 samples in our first phase. 17 of those were from the northern part of Kulik Lake, and they were rare earths, and we have grades up to 1% total rare earths in our samples. And that includes the magnet metals, and these are a mouthful, neodymium and praseodymium. You could also throw in dysprosium, samarium, and a whole bunch of others. There are 17 rare earths, in fact. Some of them are worth thousands of dollars per pound. What we're finding is the main magnet metals are present in abundance, which is neodymium and praseodymium, but we also have some teasers that are in lower concentrations but have high dollar values per pound. Things like gallium and samarium and other things. So what it tells us, we have to do a lot more assaying because the trace rare earths are there as well. So our results were 17 samples. We've got 3 samples that are approaching up to 1% total rare earths. The uranium, we took 50 samples on an exposed ridge of granite pegmatite. And we've got relatively low grades of uranium, but it's very extensive. And we're not certain at this point whether our samples are representative of what's there. Our airborne anomalies were quite significant, and we have to do more follow-up. The best value we got for uranium was at the very south end of our property, and that was 0.06% U3O8. And the best values for rare earths was the north end of our property, and as I said, that went up to 1% total rare earths. The interesting thing is, it's all part of one system. It seems to be uranium rich in the south, uranium and rare earths in the middle, and more rare earths in the north. Now that may just be, you know, an artifact of where we've sampled, but it looks to us like there might be some zoning to what we're doing. So we've sent the field crew back in for the next 2 weeks to do soil sampling in the covered areas in between where we've got surface exposures, and to take some more samples for assay.
So we're in a room here full of companies.
Yes.
And they're looking for value here. Been a rough ride here in the market. You got some fantastic neighbors around you, some big boys here. Yep. Lay out the value here for Searchlight for a new investor that might come your way.
Well, you know, when the markets sink, you want to be involved in the strongest hands. We are an exploration stock, admittedly, but we've held our value through this market correction. We're at 9 cents. 2 years ago, we were 3 cents. So we are continuing to build value for our shareholders, and we're optimistic that we can continue to do so because the rare earths market is growing exponentially. Over the next 8 years, people have forecast that the market for neodymium is going to go up tenfold. So we think that's going to provide a strong backdrop for Searchlight.
Okay. Well, certainly appreciate you making the trip down here, and we'll look forward to tracking your progress. That's Alf Stewart. He is the chairman of Searchlight Resources, SCLT, the Toronto Venture Exchange. Alf, really appreciate the time.
Thank you very much, Rob.